The rap world is heating up once again, and this time everyone is paying attention. Lil Meech, son of the legendary Big Meech, has come out swinging at Rick Ross, accusing the Miami mogul of profiting off the BMF legacy without giving a dime back to the real family. According to sources, Lil Meech claims Rick Ross has taken more than $120 million through business ventures, brand rights, and music profits tied to the Black Mafia family name, and now the streets are saying it's turning into a serious situation. This all kicked off after rumors started circulating that Rick Ross had quietly been capitalizing on the BMF story for years. From his 2010 hit BMF blowing money fast to the entire boss persona he built around it, Ross allegedly used Big Meech's lifestyle as a blueprint for his brand. The music, the MMG movement, even his talk about hustling, all of it echoes the energy Big Meech built in real life. But people close to the BMF family say Ross never reached out respectfully, never offered financial acknowledgement, and never secured the proper clearance to keep cashing in on the legacy.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too. What you asking for my sympathy for? You be alright.
Lil Meech has finally had enough. He reportedly went live and snapped, saying he's tired of people profiting off his father's name while the man who built it all is still behind bars. In the clip, he said, "Stop playing with my father's legacy. If you're not cutting checks, keep BMF out your mouth." The moment the video hit the internet, it blew up instantly. Comment sections filled up with fans saying it was long overdue, with many claiming they've been waiting years for someone to finally call out Rick Ross.
Is there anything about Ross and his career that you have any respect for? No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
What makes the situation even wilder is how deep the roots go. Rick Ross built an entire empire influenced by BMF, from Maybach Music Group to his Wingstop ventures, branding himself as the ultimate boss. And while that image helped turn him into one of the wealthiest rappers in the game, Lil Meech says that persona came straight from his father's blueprint. He's accusing Ross of turning real street struggle into a billion-dollar fantasy, without giving credit where it's truly owed. In his words, "My pops bled for that name. You don't get to make money off it like it's a costume. Now the internet is split." Some people say Lil Meech is right. Ross did capitalize on a legacy that wasn't his. Others argue Ross brought more spotlight to Big Meech and BMF than anyone else ever did. Either way, things just got serious because when it comes to BMF, it's never just talk. It's about legacy, loyalty, and respect. And right now, all three seem to be on the line.
A guy, I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech?
No.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech.
To understand why the situation cuts so deep, you have to go back to where it all started. Big Meech, born Demetrius Flannery, founded the Black Mafia family with his brother Terry in the late 80s. By the early 2000s, they weren't just hustling. They were running a nationwide operation that moved massive weight and lived like royalty. They had fleets of luxury cars, million-dollar homes in Atlanta, and threw parties so extravagant they made rappers look broke. In a lot of ways, BMF became the blueprint for the modern rap lifestyle, bottle service, designer fits, VIP sections, all before social media turned that image into a trend. When Big Meech was taken down in 2005 and sentenced to a long federal bid, his story shifted from real life to legend. Rappers across the industry shouted him out, from Jeezy to Gucci Mane and eventually Rick Ross. But here's where things get complicated. Ross didn't just shout him out. He built an entire persona off that legacy. When he dropped the MF blowing money fast, the song exploded worldwide. That hook, "I Think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover," became a cultural moment. People were yelling it in clubs, online, and on street corners everywhere. It elevated Ross into the image of a street boss overnight. Meanwhile, behind prison walls, the real Big Meech wasn't seeing the respect or the benefit that came with his name being turned into a brand.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Now that Lil Meech has stepped into his role representing his father's legacy, through the BMF TV series, he's taken all of this very personally. Working alongside 50 Cent, he's been focused on keeping the real story alive, the one that honors what Big Meech actually built. So, when he hears that Rick Ross has allegedly been cashing in through music licensing, brand deals, and merch without proper clearance, he sees it as straight-up disrespect. And the rumors don't stop there. Word is that Big Meech himself isn't happy either. Insiders claim he learned about those alleged missing millions from people in the business world, who started questioning the ownership and rights behind the BMF brand. Supposedly, there's a trail of paperwork floating around linking Rick Ross and certain corporations to trademarks and deals that might have been inspired by, or directly taken from, the BMF name. That's when Lil Meech reportedly snapped, calling Ross a fake hustler and warning that the streets aren't behind him anymore. And when you look at the bigger picture, the whole situation mirrors history. Back in the day, Big Meech built BMF on loyalty, one crew, one code. Now, that same name is tangled up in lawyers, trademarks, and questionable documents. That's why this beef hits deeper than any diss track. It's not about clout or attention. It's about family pride, honor, and protecting a name that was built with real blood, sweat, and time.
Ricky Rose, the time has come. Meech on. February 13th, get your tickets right now. It's going down. We know Florida gonna be there. Miami gonna be there. The legend himself gonna be in the building, making history. Meech, who else coming?
The whole nation. Detroit, St. Louis, California, everybody. Atlanta, Georgia, ATL, stand up.
Woo. We're gonna make history. Get your tickets.
Let's not forget, this isn't the first time Rick Ross has been under fire for this. Long before Lil Meech spoke up, people in the industry were already calling Ross out for building his brand off the reputations of real street legends without actually being one himself. Back in 2008, when it was revealed that Ross had worked as a correctional officer, his entire image almost collapsed, but instead, he doubled down and reinvented himself as the boss of bosses, adopting the very lifestyle and persona that Big Meech had made iconic. From that point on, he was dropping BMF in nearly every bar, music video, and interview, and the world bought it. But now, with Lil Meech stepping forward, it feels like the ghost of those old accusations are finally catching up. Fans are saying this might be the one situation Ross can't talk his way out of, because this time, it's not internet trolls or random critics. It's the son of the man Ross built his image around, and Lil Meech isn't letting it slide. He's young, emotional, and carrying the weight of a legendary name on his shoulders. When he gets online and says he's protecting his father's legacy, people pay attention. Even rappers who normally stay silent have been liking, sharing, and reposting the clip.
Do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. There's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big. I can feel it. I'm just talking.
Rick Ross, for his part, has been trying to keep things classy, at least on the surface. He posted a cryptic message saying, "Real bosses inspire, not retire." Fans immediately took it as a slick shot at Lil Meech's accusations. But people close to the BMF circle didn't find it classy at all. They called it disrespectful, saying Ross is playing with the man's real history like it's entertainment. Meanwhile, social media is watching the whole situation unfold like a blockbuster drama. Memes, reaction videos, conspiracy threads, even old interviews are resurfacing where Ross bragged about moving like Meech, and of course, 50 Cent's name got dragged back into the mix. As the producer of the BMF series and someone with real ties to both Meeches, he's right in the middle of this storm. 50 hasn't said much yet, but everyone knows his style. When he speaks, the impact is going to be heavy. Some fans are already saying 50 warned Ross years ago to stop pretending he was part of BMF. Back then, nobody listened. Now the receipts are finally catching up. The tension is real because this isn't just rap beef. This is about ownership, respect, and millions in branding power. And with Lil Meech calling Ross out directly, things could turn ugly fast. You can feel that shift in the air. That cold energy that shows up when a real street legacy collides with music industry business.
Who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your master.
You know, but when you take Lil Meech and you put him in acting school, you know, you take him from Detroit. I remember him rapping when he was rapping and nobody was helping him from what I seen. Because I remember when Lil Meech was rapping.
At the end of the day, This entire situation shows just how blurred the line has become between real street legacy and rap celebrity. Rick Ross turned the boss image into a billion-dollar brand. But for Big Meech and his family, that image wasn't entertainment. It came from real life. Real risks, real consequences, real loyalty, and real prison time. So, when Lil Meech steps forward and calls Ross out for disrespecting that legacy, it hits on a much deeper level than typical rap talk. It raises a bigger question. What happens when history gets rewritten by people who never lived it? Even from behind bars, Big Meech's name still carries power. Rappers mention him like a godfather of the streets. So, for his own son to publicly call out and threaten Rick Ross, that carries weight. Lil Meech isn't chasing clout. He's trying to protect what's left of his father's reputation. And that's why this beef feels different. It's not rapper versus rapper. It's family versus industry. Legacy versus profit. Respect versus exploitation.
Guy, I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No,
No? You think 50?
no,
Lil Meech.
no.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech, unless he was looking to get 50 out the way, he would have dealt with Meech in the shadows, because he knows me and this dude who is gonna react if he sees me dealing with this dude that he has business with. And there was a lot of business left to be done, right? Rick Ross, bro, could have done whatever he was gonna do in the shadows if he really honored and respected Meech. Trust me, Meech wished none of this was going.
Rick Ross is at a crossroads now. He can either own up, make peace, and give proper credit, or keep acting like nothing's wrong and watch his credibility take another hit. The streets might let old rumors fade, but they never forget disrespect, especially when it's tied to Big Meech Dot. And if you know anything about BMF's history, you know they've never handled disrespect lightly. People close to the situation say Big Meech isn't speaking publicly, but he's fully aware of what's going on. Some say he's disappointed. Others claim he's proud of his son for finally stepping up and defending the family name. Either way, the message is loud and clear. BMF is not to be played with. That name carries power, real power. And if Ross truly took advantage of it, he may have just crossed the wrong family.
Now,
A guy, I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No,
No? You think 50?
no,
Lil Meech.
no.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech.
Social media is already calling this BMF versus MMG. And whether it turns into real smoke or stays online, one thing is certain, the damage is done, the respect is gone. Because once you accuse a man of scamming a legend out of $120 million, there's no clean way to walk that back. So yes, it's official. Lil Meech has drawn a line in the sand. He's protecting his father's name at all costs. And Rick Ross may call himself the biggest boss, but when the real bosses speak, even he has to pay attention, because when legacy is on the line, money doesn't equal power.